All right, so we'll begin going this way and then we'll stop a little ways up in the forest. So Bryce Canyon, I say canyon with quotation marks, is a bit of a misnomer because technically Bryce Canyon is not a canyon, and there's one reason why. This park is missing one thing to make it officially a canyon. What do you think that is? Exactly, a river. So I'm sorry we lied to you. You were coming here expecting a canyon. It's technically an eroded plateau or an eroded escarpment, but that doesn't fit on the brochure. On this level, on this plateau, we get about 16 inches of moisture a year, about 100 inches of snow. Okay. In the summertime, we get the monsoons, so that's when the rains come in very heavily. So that's July or August, we can get several inches of rain. Now the tall rock formations, the tall statuesque rock formations are called hoodoos. And hoodoos are very unique in how they're formed. So if you see this rock formation right here, that's what we call a fin. Now if you can see that big vertical crack, well what happens is in the park here we have what we call a freeze-thaw cycle. So the temperature during the day gets warm like it is now, and of course the snow melts, becomes water. Well, at night it freezes, and that happens about 180 days a year. So the water during the day seeps into those cracks, and at night it freezes and becomes ice, and it forms a wedge, and it keeps doing that over and over, and eventually that ice will cause that crack to just split the rock apart. So eventually that fin, as we call it, will break apart, and it'll form one of the taller, narrow hoodoos that you see down below. This canyon is continuously eroding to the west at a rate of about 1 to 4 feet per century. Okay, so if you come back in 20 or 30 years, the canyon will be eroded further to the west. Now the top of the hoodoo tends to be harder than the bottom parts. The limestone is less water soluble. So that's why many of the hoodoos, like if you looked at Thor's Hammer, which is over by Sunset Point, it looks almost like a golf ball on a tee. You have the very wide top, and then it comes down to the narrow neck. Well, the reason is that rock formation that's further down, it washes away more quickly than the rock at top. So the water comes down off the top of the hoodoo, comes down to the softer mudstone and washes that mudstone away.